What's going on, guys? Oliver Stasio here with FlytPath.com. I'm here with my buddy Craig Coker, and what do we have here, dude?
This is Airpeak S1 from Sony, man.
The Sony Airpeak.
It's great to have you.
I know, man. We've been connecting for a while now. I've actually known him for years because history-wise, we're not going to get into that, but we've kind of both been in this space, this drone space, for almost, I would say, near the beginning as far as like the consumer side of things. I know you were actually probably in there longer than me, but we've been in there for a while with, even before the whole DJI, the Phantoms, the 3DR. Quick background, if you would like, if you can, just about that history, about your time in the space.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, I've been in the drone industry for about 10 years now. I've worked with DJI, a lot of the drone manufacturers, helping them build their own units. Been a photographer for probably about 20 years now, always just so inspired and passionate about photography. Now we have Airpeak. This is something, where 10 years ago everything was do it yourself.
Yep.
And now this is so plug and play. It has features that hasn't been in the drone industry.
For those that haven't seen this, it was announced, I'd say 3 years ago, right? Was it announced maybe?
3 years ago. It was in the pipeline. People have been talking about it. Building a drone from the ground up, especially with a company that's never built a drone.
Yeah.
They wanted to really get it right. Give a platform to somebody that can start from the beginning or be the professional doing TV commercials, movies and stuff.
The main reason why I wanted to look at this thing is because, of course, I'm a Sony shooter. I'm shooting all on Sonys. So the ability to be able to almost plug and play my existing camera was one of the biggest reasons why this thing, I think, sparks a lot of content creators. I mean, a lot of content creators are kind of moving into Sony in general.
Mm-hmm. Well, everything here you see is proprietary to Sony except for the gimbal.
Okay.
Now, this is a Grimsey gimbal. Grimsey's been around for a while. They know stabilization really well. So they decided to partner with Grimsey on that and then build the whole platform and focus on the important things of flight. It's USB-C, just one cable, right from the Grimsey to the camera,
yeah.
Which that allows video feed, camera settings.
Is there a max capacity? I mean, there's always a max, but what have you been flying besides this one? How big of a
I've been flying the A1 as well.
Okay.
So the ones that I really like most is the A1 and the FX3. And the reason why I don't necessarily go to a A7S is because the FX3 is quite similar to it, with low light capability and everything.
Are you able to, I'm assuming, have full control on your remote to adjust all the settings, all exposure and everything through there?
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's one of the solutions that Sony has that hasn't necessarily been in the drone industry.
Right.
You can't plug in and play a Sony Alpha camera to another aircraft because you don't get that connectivity, that integration of what the camera has here. The settings, the ISO, the white balance, the aperture, the shutter, and all that stuff. So it's right at your fingertips when you're flying. Flight time, depending on the payload, you're looking at roughly 8 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
Depends, on the glass that you're running. There's the GMs that are like a pound heavier than these new primes that they have. I honestly love these primes. There's a 24, 40 mil, and a 50 mil. Dual battery for redundancy. That's really important for a heavy lift. Redundancy is super important. They have a lot of great things in the flight controller there. Is the integration of the Alpha units that we have, and the fact that you have very low light capability. Rather than if you look at the Inspire, even on the X7, if you're pushing 800 ISO, you're going to start seeing some noise, right? I could push, because this is dual ISO, I could push 12,800 and still have a very solid picture. You have the feature of hot swapping.
Yep.
You can land, swap out the batteries, and take off. The other thing is you can essentially do that with the gimbal as well.
Really?
Because it's hot swappable. So if you had multiple gimbals.
Oh, dang. Just like that, huh?
Multiple gimbals and different types of payloads, you can easily land the bird.
Yep.
Swap out to a different payload.
That way you're not adjusting this thing and just drop it back in there.
Exactly. You don't have to balance it or anything. So that's really great for high productions. Obstacle avoidance. it looks at every direction. It's got upward, downward, back, front, left, right. And so it senses, avoids, and it also has potential for new updates to it.
Okay.
For like smart shots and things like that that people will really utilize. This is $9,000 for the unit, and then about $2,000 for the gimbal.
Okay. And then your own camera. What are we talking about with propellers?
Yeah, 17 inches. Again, proprietary. This is Sony from the ground up. They're quick release, exactly.
Just right there,
and then twist the motor.
Which way? Does it matter? Or well, it goes one way.
Yeah, it only goes one way.
Oh, there you go.
You hear that confirmation lock, right?
And it's metal to metal. All done by Sony. So what are we using here? So you're using an actual iPad.
Yeah. The only thing that is not Sony is the iPad.
Okay. I like the ergonomics of this back piece right here.
Yeah, exactly.
These grips. I mean,
really?
like something so small. Look at these guys. See these grips in here? Your hand just fits nicely in there. And I think even small touches like that, and you have your C1, or not even C1, C4, C3, C4 right here on the back.
I can hold it with one hand because of that grip.
Yep.
Which is really good.
Okay, on the very top, full-size HDMI out.
Full-size HDMI, USB to USB-C.
You said release date, or it's already out there?
They have shipped a couple of units already. More than a couple, obviously, but we've been getting great feedback so far. People are liking it. A lot of photographers love it.
Track legs?
Yep, retractable legs so that when you do dual operation, it's a full 360 view.
Perfect.
No obstruction there, which is great.
And the great thing is we have the front cam, right? So you have the operator
FPV.
Operator 1 can go off the front cam, and operator 2 can go off of the actual camera.
Exactly, and within the app you can switch the FPV to camera around so that you get a full view.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so I can't wait to show you what the app is capable of. There's a lot of cool settings in there.
Well, with that said, what do you think? Let's get this up in the air?
Go for a flight?
Let's do it.
I like it. Let's do it. What is great about Airpeak is the ability to take it out of the box and get it up in the air within just minutes. Is your landing gear. Then you got your gimbal. What I like to do with the gimbal is before I get to set or the airfield, I like to have it pre-balanced and ready to go. So when I'm here, I just click it in. That's set, ready to go. So they eject individually, which makes it capable of hot swap features. Black propeller goes with the black top. You'll get a confirmation noise from the drone, and we're up and running already. That was just seconds after turning on the aircraft. Telemetry is at the top here, camera, battery, all this, distance, altitude, speed. You know, what's great about Airpeak piloting app is that it's an easy transition from other pilot apps to this one. Here we go. And you can see it's pretty stable. Not doing anything. It's holding altitude. It's doing everything perfect. It really allows the pilot or content creator, camera operator to focus on what they're capturing rather than worrying about what the aircraft's doing. What I'm going to do is a quick pullback from here. And 3, 2, 1. Three different modes. There's standard, velocity, and ADI mode, altitude hold. There's also the ability to change those parameters depending on what the pilot likes. So you can change your expo and your stick ratings and all that great stuff. I can also turn off visions, positioning, and braking. So the difference between this setting, between standard and velocity, how it pulled back slower. Now you'll see how much faster it is. So the flight characteristics are much quicker in this mode. It's rated at 55, but in the app it says 67, so it is possible to go quicker.
And there it is, guys, the new Sony Airpeak. Huge thank you to
Yeah,
you, Craig. This is
absolutely.
definitely something that we've been talking about for a little bit. I'm so glad that we were finally able to connect. Thank you very much. And if people want more info on this thing, like you said, it's already shipping or it's already out there. Where can people get a little bit more info on it?
Well, you can get all of your info or even buy on the Sony website. You can even go to places like B&H or Sonys.
Okay. Aren't already following? I'm going to leave Craig's info down below. Awesome content creator, photographer, multiple genres, not just drones. I mean, I'm a huge Tesla. He's into Teslas.
Yeah.
I believe it's like from where I charge and some other. You have a bunch of other.
That's my racing account.
I'll leave them all down below. If you're just a tech nerd like most people are following me, hopefully are. He has a bunch of stuff online that you guys are going to want to follow. So I'll definitely leave all the info down below. Thanks again for coming out. Appreciate the demo.
Oh yeah, happy to host, buddy.
We'll do this again once I hopefully get my hands on this.
Absolutely, thanks.
Cool.